Well, very good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this latest concert in the London Sinfonietta's Lockdown Live series. It's called Postcard Pieces. I'm joined by two musicians from the London Sinfonietta, Cliodna Shanahan on the piano and the Sinfonietta's principal trombone, Byron Fulcher. Good afternoon, both of you, from wherever you may be. Great to see you. Last week, Cliodna and Byron and myself met with two composers that the Sinfonietta works with, Deborah Pritchard and Samantha Fernando, who both have written pieces using graphic notation for us to play. And we looked at this graphic notation and found out a bit more about it. We discovered it was kind of non-traditional notation where you use colours and shapes as well as written words and some musical notation to communicate your message to the musicians. We then invited as many composers who wanted to come and to work on some graphic pieces at home and send them in to us, and we've selected 8 to give the world premiere of today. So we're going to do that. While we're on our YouTube channel, if you get a moment, do press the subscribe button down in the corner there and join us for future events. We've got some marvelous events coming up, and we'd love to see you at some of those. So Cliodna, did you have fun choosing your pieces?
Oh my gosh, I had such fun choosing them. There's so many great ideas, and it's fantastic. The small postcard space means that all the ideas can be condensed into something really concentrated and brilliant. So it was great.
Fantastic. And Byron, how many pieces did you look at in total, do you think?
Oh, I looked at them all, and some of them perhaps have some similarities, so I didn't want to play too many similar, and then some I sort of struggled to come up with ideas, and other ones so something flows a bit more easy, so we whittled it down like that.
Great. Well, I think we've got 8 really contrasting looking pieces, and I can't wait to hear them. As we're going through the concert, everyone, do join in the chat on our YouTube channel or via our Twitter feed. It would be great to hear what everyone's thinking and of how these pieces look and how they sound. We're going to start with 2 pieces. Cliodna's going to play a piece by Mary Louise, and that's going to be followed straight away by Emma Morgan's piece, which is played by Byron. So Cliodna, over to you from Mary Louise's piece. Thank you, Byron, and thank you, Cliodna. Emma Morgan's piece there was kind of, I think, inspired by those dandelion seeds you could kind of see in the sort of top left corner. Was Mary Louise's piece. It looked quite three-dimensional. I only saw a photograph of it, obviously clearly, but it had sort of like quite kind of bold, globular sort of paint in it as well. So fantastic. How, Byron, when you're preparing that kind of piece, how long does that take you to kind of be inspired by it and work out what you might do?
Well, I think I play it quite literally. So, I mean, that's to me, it's got a bit of an autumn scene. It's got a storm in the bottom right corner and some obvious clouds and rains and lightning, and so it's pretty blustery around that area. And then top left, actually, I thought top left was maybe kites flying in quite a breeze, that sort of thing, and a little bit of sleet or snow, and so it's a changing, and then falling leaves in the middle. So it's a changing of the seasons.
Definitely is a change of seasons. Great. We've had entries actually from all over the place for this, from across the UK, from Edinburgh and Newport in South Wales via Lancashire. We've had them as far afield as Berlin and Mexico, which is really, really brilliant. And we've had young people sending us scores and lots of grown-ups, including, I was delighted to see 2 NHS workers, a doctor and an orthopedic surgeon found time to create some beautiful graphic scores for us too. So keep them coming in, because actually we're going to have another concert next Friday at 1 p.m. So if you're feeling inspired by some of these, get drawing, get painting, get creating, and send them in to us. You can find out more details on our website. Now, our next pieces have got, as well as beautiful shapes and colours, have got some written text as well. We're going to hear Byron play a piece by Covadonga Martinez Sanchez, which is called Music of the Spheres. And after that, we'll see and hear Nicholas Mars's piece, Ambling, played by Cliodna on the piano. And Nicholas didn't have a postcard to compose his piece onto, and so he used the cardboard from the back of an egg box. I don't know if that inspired you at all, Cliodna. We'll have to wait and find out. But Byron, over to you, please, for Music of the Spheres. Wow, Cliodna, what a fantastic journey! Amazing that so a kind of a little fragment of just rhythm really can suggest so much, isn't it? And just take you on such an enormous journey with the piano.
Absolutely.
So
I could
that's
play
one.
that piece for 2 hours, you know.
Yeah, I completely, absolutely. I kind of felt at one point, I was happy to let you go on. Times are limited, but it was beautiful. Thank you, Nicholas, for your piece, Ambling. And before that, Covadonga, thank you very much for Music of the Spheres, which Byron played absolutely beautifully. Now, both those pieces had sort of traditional music notation in, little hints of it, maybe some notes or kind of a stave visible or whatever else. The next two pieces actually go a little bit further, and as well as having colors and a sort of picture as part of them, they actually have bona fide harmonies or chords. So the first piece we'll hear by Hugh Morris is kind of inspired by an old seaside postcard and has a series of I think mostly bass clef harmonies for the piano to play. Is that right, Cliodna? And some suggested pathways for that.
Yes.
And then in Byron's piece, there are which is written by Jodie Rushton. There are two harmonies we can see really clearly, one on the left-hand side and one on the right-hand side of the page, but they're coloured very differently because of the kind of the emotional world they probably inhabit. So let's hear those two pieces next. First of all, Hugh Morris's piece, played by the piano, and then Jodie Rushton's by the trombone. Byron, thank you, and Cliodna, thank you very much. They were really interesting to hear how differently those pieces sounded because of the appearance of that sort of the elements of music in there. Byron, that kind of classic, dark minor key to begin with, and the gorgeous sort of C major, sunny yellowy C major at the end. That was really nice. But you also went on an enormous journey from the very lowest edges of the trombone to presumably the very topmost edges as well. I think you can much higher.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I think the piece sort of reaches a point of critical mass in the middle, and then it's a bit like the Big Bang. Something of order comes out of it. But yeah.
Yeah, there's amazing chaos in the middle, isn't there? Yeah, incredible. Yeah. And Cliodna, you obviously decided the piano wasn't quite enough to do full justice to Hugh's piece, so you added some vocal effects in too.
Yes, I wanted some tidal vibes. That's what I got from the postcard. So
Absolutely, I think they were that suited it perfectly. Kind of, you know, the sea in the background and the chords in the foreground was very much what Hugh had suggested to us in that one. Before we hear our last two pieces of today's concert, I'm just going to remind anybody who's listening live or listening on catch up that we're doing another one of these Postcard Pieces concerts next Friday at 1 p.m. again, and so get drawing, get painting, get making collages, get imagining what music might look like on a postcard or a piece of A5 paper and send it in to us at London Sinfonietta. We'll be selecting more pieces. And Byron and Cliodna, I'm sad to say that we're using two different instruments next week. As much as I'm enjoying hearing you guys, we're going to have a violin and an oboe playing. So if you're inspired by either of those instruments, get creating now. Now, to finish our last two works, first of all, for trombone, a piece by Georgia Decker, a lovely looking piece, very dramatic, very bold in its red colours. And after that, an entry by our youngest composer, who's aged 7 years old. You see, you're never too young to start composing. Summer McKinney, who's done a brilliant, very brightly coloured collage for us with three eyes scattered around it. So I'm looking forward to hearing the eyes, Cliodna. But first of all, Byron, would you mind playing us Georgia Decker's piece? Thank you. Yay, brilliant. I can imagine both those pieces becoming encores in your next solo recitals. I think both of them brilliant. I've been in the garden a lot these last few weeks, and Byron, I've heard many things that sounded like you did of George's piece. And I love the spirals as well. And Cliodna, that was epic and as vividly coloured as Summer's piece is as well. So thank you very much to the both of you for joining us. And I can imagine now that we've got in living rooms and kitchens up and down the land, people offering you their applause. So thank you very much, Cliodna and Byron, for those 8 world premieres. So I'd also like to thank everybody back at the Sinfonietta as well for doing all the work to make this concert happen, both now live, but also in the weeks leading up to it as well. So thank you, all of you there. And the Sinfonietta is really grateful for the investment of the Arts Council England, and which underpins everything they do, and also to many kind of trusts and sponsors and individuals who support their work. And if you're interested in supporting our work, do find out more about that from the website. Next week on Monday, our principal clarinet, Mark van der Wiels, giving a brilliant introduction to the contemporary clarinet. And on Wednesday, percussionist Joe Richards is giving a solo recital, which includes the world premiere of a wonderful piece by Laura Bowler, a really fantastic composer. But if you can't make either of those, but you can come back next Friday to hear and see 8 more graphic scores being played. I hope you can join us. But finally, one more time, Byron, Fulcher, Cliodna, Shanahan, thank you very much, and see everybody again soon. Okay, bye.